And we are live. You already know who it is. My name is Mike Kyle, aka the Fantasy Vulture. I have over a decade worth of fantasy football experience, and I've continuously competed for fantasy championships over the course of the past 6 seasons. Let's make it 7 in 2020. But enough of me. I'm here for you. On today's episode of the FV Show, we are continuing our Week 1 NFL previews all through the lens of fantasy football. If you are excited for this video where we are going to preview the Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars, be sure to hit that like button down below like an open receiver downfield, Patrick Mahomes style. Also smash that subscribe button, power running back style like Derrick Henry up the middle. And last but not least, you can follow me on all social media platforms at FF Vulture, and of course the website is ffvulture.com. If you are listening to the podcast version, thank you very much. Be sure to drop us a review wherever you are listening. And I think that's going to do it. Let's just jump right in, shall we? I've been doing this for every single team / every single game for Week 1. I think this is number 5 that I'm recording now. So if you've missed any of the other previews, I'm going to leave a link to the card right here. That's going to take you to the playlist for every single game preview. But let's just go. Let's just go, shall we? The Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The over-under is set at 45 points. Let's talk about some game notes and some storylines like always. Phillip Rivers and the Colts. The new era begins. Finally, they have a quarterback who can actually do some things, right? That's not saying Kobe Brissett was bad, but Phillip Rivers is a bit of an upgrade, even if Phillip Rivers is 38 years old. So Phillip Rivers comes over to the Colts this offseason. The Colts believe that their window to win is right now. They have a team that is good enough. They have weapons. They have a great offensive line, and their defense is going to be spectacular this season. The Colts can be a dark horse team in 2020. On the other side of the ball with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Minshew mania is in full effect. He's going to be the starter all season long. There was nobody behind him. This is his team. And what's really important is that this is his chance to prove to the team, the organization, and the fans that he is going to be the guy moving forward, because a lot of people are projecting the Jags to finish at the bottom of the standings, and which would put them in line to take a guy like Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, or Trey Lance in the 2021 NFL Draft. So Minshew actually has a lot to prove this season. But now that we got the storylines out of the way, let's get some start set going, shall we? Let's really just dive into this matchup just a little bit. And honestly, this might be one of the shorter previews, all things considered. And very simply, start your Colts. For the love of God, start all of your Colts. I do not care who it is. There's a chance that I'm willing to start every single one of them in this game, right? The Jacksonville Jaguars defense has completely imploded since their incredible run in 2017. There are only 4 players from that 2017 defense currently on the roster. Everybody else is gone. They traded Jalen Ramsey. They traded Parris Campbell. Who else? They traded Yannick Ngakoue. I mean, just people are dropping like flies from this defense that was once so great and so pristine, and now is utter and complete trash. So please, start your Colts. Phillip Rivers, incredible start this week. Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor, why not both? Please, start them both. The Jags front line is not going to be that great, outside of probably Josh Allen. The black Josh Allen, right? Let's see. Who else? T.Y. Hilton, you're starting him. I'll talk about him in a later video coming this week. Or I guess coming today, not even this week. Coming on later today. And then, are you starting Parris Campbell, who is just coming back from a concussion that he suffered during training camp, or the rookie Michael Pittman Jr.? For me, I'm more inclined to start Michael Pittman Jr. because I know what his involvement is going to be, and that's simply them saying time and time again this offseason that he is going to be their X receiver, and they fully intend to utilize him in their offense off the jump. So I lean Michael Pittman if you are deciding between Parris Campbell and Pittman. But Parris Campbell could still see work as well. He's going to be excellent coming into the slot. This is year 2. We know what Phillip Rivers can do with short intermediate targets. Let's see, Antonio Gates, Hunter Henry, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Danny Woodhead, right? Phillip Rivers just has a tendency to really hit guys over the middle of the field, and Parris Campbell should be able to fill that role very, very well coming into year 2 off of a very injured rookie season that did not get off to the best start of his NFL career. With the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm starting Gardner Minshew this week. Like that's not like a thing where it's like, I'm saying you should start him. No. I'm actually starting Gardner Minshew this week. And I'm a bit scared about it. It's just one of those things where he's my quarterback in my league, and I'm going to start him. I'll probably end up streaming the position, all things considered. But I talked about coming into this season what Gardner Minshew could be. And there are so many reasons to like Gardner Minshew, but I understand the hesitancy for everybody saying, like, what are you doing? I understand it completely, right? So let's break down why I like Minshew so much again this season. We're going to try and keep this really, really brief. First off, new offensive coordinator Jay Gruden took Kirk Cousins to back-to-back top 10 quarterback finishes in Washington. Secondly, last time we saw Jacksonville being a bad team trailing from behind frequently, Blake Bortles was the number 5 quarterback and the number 10 quarterback in back-to-back seasons. Up next, the rushing upside from Gardner Minshew. He had 2 more rushing yards than Russell Wilson last year and finished number 5 at the quarterback position in rushing yards last season. He led the NCAA in passing yards in college, or it was passer rating, one of the two. And we know that this team is going to be trailing a lot, and as a result, they are going to have to throw the ball a ton. So the opportunity for Minshew to succeed is going to be based off of all those. Like, that all culminates to potential fantasy success, right? As we saw with Will Fuller, as I mentioned with, who did I bring that up with? There was another team who I just talked about garbage time points. I want to say maybe it was the Washington team. Garbage time points, doesn't matter if it's the first quarter or the fourth quarter. Garbage time points count the same either way for fantasy football, which is why we love them and also why we hate them at the same time. So I'm starting Minshew this week. I have some hesitancy about it, admittedly, but I'm excited to see what he does, knowing that he is the guy this season. I want to bring this up about DJ Chark, though. DJ Chark, wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know if DJ Chark is ever going to be the sexy start because of the fact of how the Jags are perceived, but I do think he's going to be intriguing, right? He's a guy that I have on my squad. I have the Minshew Chark stack, and my wide receivers are currently Will Fuller, Robert Woods, Deebo Samuel, Allen Robinson, and DJ Chark. I also have Alshon Jeffrey as well, who I'm stashing because he's going to miss the first few weeks of the season. So having DJ Chark as, at that point, my third, fourth, or even fifth option, depending on how you rank my wide receivers. I love having that flexibility to where I don't have to start Chark week in and week out. But if I think the matchup is right, then I'll be more than happy to play him. Chark, I saw a tweet earlier. Somebody put out their bold prediction that DJ Chark is going to lead the league in touchdowns, and I love that just because of what I just laid out for Minshew. If this team is trailing from behind frequently and they're going to air it out, 550, 600 times potentially this season, that's going to be so many opportunities for Chark to succeed. So while I'm not playing him this week just because I feel like I have better options, I don't have an issue if you are starting DJ Chark this week in your lineup. I still think he's going to be great, and he's really going to continue to improve as a wide receiver in the NFL. Lastly, I want to talk about the running backs in Jacksonville. James Robinson, Chris Thompson. No. Why? Please. All right. I haven't talked about this because, frankly, the way that my content is structured, I can't do up-to-the-minute breaking news. So I haven't even spewed my thoughts on James Robinson yet. I don't care. Like, simply put, I don't care. The coaching staff can talk this guy up all they want. Say, we're going to give him the workload. I don't care. I don't care. This is a guy that nobody has even talked about since Leonard Fournette got cut. You're going to tell me that all of a sudden this is your guy? No, absolutely not. And if you're starting him in fantasy, let's take this a step further and just talk about strictly fantasy purposes, right? You just picked this guy off the waiver wire because there was no way that you were drafting him. There's no way there's no way 3 weeks ago you told me I took James Robinson as my starting running back in the 15th round. No, you didn't. No, you absolutely did not. If anything, you took Raekwon Armstead as your Leonard Fournette handcuff. James Robinson wasn't even a thought. So with that being said, I know for a fact that you have better options on your fantasy team to start over James Robinson. So there's no reason that he should be in your lineup. There's not one. If you want to grab him off the free agent wire and stash him on your bench to see what he does, fine. Fine with it. But there's no way in fucking hell you are starting James Robinson this week. Chris Thompson on the other hand, maybe. If you are in that PPR league and you want to see what Chris Thompson can do, again, that's just a guy that I'm going to wait and see, right? I want to see what his role is in the offense. We do know what kind of pass-catching back he can be, but I just want to see what his role actually looks like before I'm comfortable starting him in any sort of lineup this week. But I think that's going to do it. Fiery rant aside, for my Indianapolis Colts at Jacksonville Jaguars Week 1 preview, all through the lens of fantasy football. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. We're doing this for every single Week 1 matchup. Linked again will be up here. You can follow me on all social media platforms at FFVulture. The website is ffvulture.com. Once again, be sure to subscribe down below and hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. If you're listening to the podcast, thank you very much. Be sure to drop us a review wherever you are listening. And with that, I will see you for the next game and for the next game preview. Remember, people come and go, but fantasy championships are forever. I'm out. Later.